guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now by the title of this video, you know what it is. I am going to be doing my new series, the original versus the remake, and we are talking about the original West Side Story versus the remake that was made just recently and came out in theaters last year, I want to say, but like literally 2 months ago, even though it was last year, right? But anyways, you know, I like to keep my intros short, sweet, and to the point, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the original West Side Story that came out in 1961 was directed by Jerome Robbins and Robert Wise. It's basically about racial tensions in New York around that time, and it's the Puerto Ricans versus the whites. And the Puerto Ricans, you know, are the outcast and the minority because they're immigrants and, you know, they're not from America. But in that same sense where it's about racial tension, it's actually a take on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, which is a play. So it's basically a take on that play turned into a musical set in the 60s in New York, but instead of the two families, it's different races. So think of that first before you think of it as like a race movie, or like this was made to like showcase racial tensions. Like, yes, of course, like this is happening as well, but it takes a backseat to what the front seat, which is the main point of the movie, which is this is Romeo and Juliet, but it's just set different, and it's a remake itself, actually, if you think about it, which I think, like, what a great concept, but then also too was executed so beautifully. So just kind of basically giving you a recap of that and really what the movie is about. So you have a Puerto Rican woman, Maria, and you have a white boy, Tony. They come from two different races, of course, two different walks of life. Maria, her brother, and, you know, her sister, and her family is like associated with the gang life, and her brother is the head leader of the gang, the Sharks. And Tony used to be part of the Jets, which is a white gang, but he's not anymore. He's like reformed and, you know, completely changed his life, but he still associates himself with gang because like they're still his friends. So now that we got the logistics out the way, basically it's their love story and them coming together and all the drama and kaflama that comes with it, right? If you're someone who doesn't really watch a lot of musicals or has never really seen too many musicals, a lot of the main problems, the main points are like through song and dance. So looking at it from that standpoint, as a musical, top 5 of all time easily. I feel like especially during that time, they didn't have a lot to work with. It was just genuine raw talent. It's not the modern technology we have now with the lights, the cameras, the editing, you know, the CGI, etc., etc., etc. They're working with what they have. Like each scene, you can see the characters and the actresses and the actors using what they have around them, using their surroundings to act out this scene. For instance, you have the beginning where they're using the seesaw, the fences, the bar, etc., right? And then with Maria, when she's singing I Feel Pretty, she's using the costumes around her. She's using, you know, just bits and pieces of fabric to like wrap herself, make her look like a queen, you know, looking in the mirror, being silly, using the staircase and clicking her heels, like just using what she has to make it fun, to make it vibrant. And even the dance scene in the gym, you know, mambo, dun, 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 mambo, dun, 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 baila, dun, 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 dun. Like, love mambo. And, you know, they're in a school gym and it feels real, which, beautiful job. And they did that. They did just that. And I took a nugget. It works without trying too hard. That's what I like about it. I understand that the original didn't have authentic Puerto Ricans playing the role of Puerto Ricans. The exception of Anita, who was a real Puerto Rican, Rita Moreno. But regardless, the movie is top tier. Like, it felt real. The only thing I will say is like Natalie Wood's accent, even when I watched it the first time when I was young, I was always like, why does Maria sound like that? Getting older, I was like, oh, okay, like she's not really Puerto Rican, she's a white woman. The accent is thick, but like even nowadays you have people playing certain roles because you want to get the butts in the seats, right? So because Natalie Wood was such a big name at the time, like it's like, okay, how do we get people to come to the theater? Put Natalie Wood's name in light. So I don't know if it was really about making a statement like we don't want to hire a Puerto Rican actress to play the role of Maria, or if it was more like, well, we're going to pick Natalie Wood because she's a star and she's going to get this movie money. But like Maria is the only non-believable Puerto Rican. Everyone else plays their part well. That being said, Great movie, 10 out of 10. Have nothing bad to say about it. It's iconic. There's literally nothing wrong with it. And we're gonna get right into how I feel about the remake. So we have West Side Story 2021, and the remake was directed by Steven Spielberg. He wanted to recreate this movie because he wanted to give the movie a chance to showcase real, genuine Puerto Ricans. And a lot of why this movie was created was because he felt like, or whoever felt like, hey, we're gonna remake this movie and we're gonna remake it the way it should have been made in 1961. No, what it looked like in 1961 is what it should have looked like in 1961 because it still gets referenced to this day. So clearly they did something right. Okay, but I'm gonna give it a chance and hopefully it's a good movie because Steven Spielberg is clearly like an iconic, amazing director. As far as the authenticity to the original, I will give it a 8 out of 10. This movie, the remake, was actually longer than the original. The only reason the original seems longer is because it has that, like, the first 10 minutes are like solely credits and then it has that intermission. So for the remake to be longer and for them to have cut out a lot of moments that they did, it like threw me off a little bit. Because sometimes with remakes, it's not about sticking to the original, it's about making it your own. But I feel like this movie in particular was keen on like, no, we're really gonna remake West Side Story. In my mind, it's like, okay, there should be no real differences. It should be what it is, a remake. The acting ability, the singing and dancing, I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to the original. It just really doesn't. Like I said, there's something about the original that feels raw, that feels authentic, that feels real. And I feel like with the Steven Spielberg one, it feels like you're watching a movie. Ansel Elgort's take on Tony was good. I don't know the actress's name who played Maria, but she was good too. I liked her. They were cute. The way they portrayed their love story was pretty on point. It was cute. I did not like that she kissed him. I mean, it's not really a spoiler alert, but when they were behind the staircases in the gym, when they were doing Mambo, I didn't like how she kissed him. That didn't really make any sense. In the original, I remember crying when Tony died and not in this one. And I remember like feeling Maria's pain or like, you know, I felt like that was a real couple and they really loved each other. And this one, it just felt like, okay, like, we're acting. I will say America probably is the best scene in the whole movie. It was really well done. 10 out of 10. And I love that they took the scene out into the like New York streets. Original America takes place on top of a building, but in the remake, America is taken out into the streets of New York and they're dancing like in the neighborhood, which I love and I like all the vibrant colors. Very like my eyes are huge. I was like, wow, like you don't know where to look. So I definitely like that scene. West Side Story itself is a play. In the play, Cool Boy is before Riff dies. And then Officer Crumpkey, that song and that scene is after Riff dies. In the original musical set in 1961, Cool Boy is after Riff dies and Officer Crumpkey is before Riff dies. But in the Steven Spielberg, which is the remake, they stick to the way it was actually done in the script. But the directors for the 1961 version said, no, Officer Crumpkey is too lighthearted of a song to put after Riff's death. So we're going to switch it, do it before, and then we're going to do Cool Boy after Riff's death because it fits the scene, like the song and dance and the vibe of it, because it's kind of like a sad, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, but it's like this like melancholy, eerie song dance scene. So that's a cool fun fact. If you know, you know. If you didn't know, you didn't know. Now I told you, now you do know. Overall, as a film, it was like a solid 7. It doesn't hold a candle to the original, honestly. Anyone who's seen the remake and liked it, or even if you didn't like it, I definitely recommend, regardless, watch the original. If you watch any remake, and if you know it's a remake, please watch the original. It's kind of like the unwritten rule that it's one of those things that you know without somebody having to tell you. Like, if you're going to watch a movie based on a book, everybody knows the book is better whether you've read it or not. Even me being a movie person, and I despise reading, I know for a fact that if I watch a movie that's based on the book, I know the book is going to be 10 times more better, and the movie probably doesn't really hold a candle to the book. That's just the way things go. So that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, that's my take. I honestly hope there's a day where I can genuinely say a remake is just as good or even better than the original. I don't think that day is coming. But other than that, I hope you like what I had to say today. Go watch both movies. Why not? Definitely go watch the original. I'm Bella approving both movies. I think they're great. But does the remake hold a candle to the original? No. So that's all I have to say about that. But I hope you guys have a good day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.